Look, the dynamic
Oh,
duo.
good. Hey guys, welcome to the Dynamic Duo. I'm Franz.
I'm Kevin. Welcome back to the Batcave and the temporary home of Avengers Tower. It's time to get super, people.
Hey,
Go
Kevin.
again.
Kevin, listen, we're here to celebrate. We made it, buddy.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for making the journey worth it.
We have got 1,000 subscribers. We have got over 1,000 subscribers. So welcome to all our new members. We hope you appreciate the channel. And we're trying to give a different perspective. There's so many people with broad perspectives that we just feel that our channel is a little bit different than everybody else's, and a little bit more honest, and a little bit more grounded, and a little bit more accurate, to be honest with you. But anyway, welcome to the channel, and I hope you enjoy it. As a matter of fact, Kevin, what I'd like to do, I'd like to honor one of our members by discussing some of his request topics that he wanted us to talk about. So, Jesus Barbosa, first of all, thank you for being such a wonderful member. We definitely appreciate your input. It's always on point and always brilliant. I love having discussions with you to such an extent, Kevin. I'd love to invite Jesus to the show one of these days so that we can talk about it in person. That's how much I value his opinion. But at the same time, he wanted us to talk about a couple of things. Let me look it up real quick. The Predator franchise. Jesus wanted us to talk about the Predator franchise that Dan Trachtenberg has revived. Have you been watching it?
I've seen it, and I have to be honest. I love the doggone thing.
Oh, you
I
do? Oh,
honestly love it. I think where they've gone, it opens a brand new world to run around in. I think it's smart. I love the way that the thing is shot cinematically. I like it.
wow. Where is it being shown?
The last time I saw it was on Netflix.
On Netflix. Okay. So Jesus, I'm sorry to say that I haven't had a chance to check it out. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm going to check it out based on your recommendation. As a matter of fact, you made another recommendation that I must check out. Um, the Predator series, the Predator series to me, I mean, you can't. So for me, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Predator, that's the movie. And that movie holds up, Kevin. It holds up. It holds up today. And since then, I have not been satisfied with the Predator series. There were a couple movies that were okay. The last one that I watched, I think it was Prey, the one that's set in sort of the Western time, and and that movie was disappointing to me. It there were there were too many. So it looked good. It was well acted. It was shot well. And it's been a while since I've seen it, but there were some things that were happening that I didn't appreciate. It was too simple, too simplistic. Um, the logic didn't hold water. Um, I don't remember, and I don't remember exactly what the issue was, but I don't remember liking it. I don't remember thinking that it was a good movie. And ever since then, I've sort of assumed because I had high hopes for that particular Predator, and it kind of disappointed me. And people liked it. People were so I went to look at it as with high expectations, and it kind of let me down a little bit. It looked good, but it's like don't insult my intelligence. And there were a couple of scenes, things like things like you know the obvious cartoony, stereotypical. bad guy, and everybody. I don't remember exactly. That's why I won't talk about it too much. So I haven't checked out the series, and I will, and we'll have to do a review about that later.
Hey guys, as we always say, there are a lot of very important things that are going on in the world, and we do this show not to ignore those things, but we do it in spite of those things. And I encourage all of you to educate yourselves. There are a lot of channels out there that give you good information about what's going on, and I recommend that you guys, there's I can't yeah, the Majority Report. Go to the Majority Report on YouTube, and you'll get some really good information. And it just starts from there. I can't think of all the names right now.
The second topic is the casting for superhero roles. Yahya Abdul for Wonder Man. And there's a follow-up question: what makes an actor's pick an inspired one? That's a great question. That's a great question. That's a very great question. It's a very great topic. And I want to discuss this with you. What do you think about Yahya's casting for Wonder Man? And what do you think makes an inspired casting? Go.
Well, number one, I think Yaya is perfect for what they have done to Wonder Man. Is it exactly the Wonder Man that I remember from the comics? No. But the approach that they've taken, it works. I know earlier I mentioned Ben Kingsley being in the wrong role in Wonder Man. He's perfect. I love what he's doing in there. I think that they could even squeeze a second season out of this if they really wanted to. Again, is it Wonder Man the way that I remember the character? No. But for what they've done, in my opinion, it works. It's different, but it works.
What do you mean by it works? What do you mean by that?
The rhythm of the show and the pacing, as well as the chemistry with the actors, all falls in line with the way the story comes about.
I understand. I get what you're saying. All right, so here's my opinion here. And the reason why I think this is an important question is because it raises the issue of race, which has been very triggering for a lot of people. And one of the things that I've said as a purist is keep the material, the characters, as close to the source material as possible. Don't change them. Having said that, I understand some changes have been made that I've had to accept, and sometimes changes have to be made. One of the things that has always pissed me off is the fact that there's a difference between, and I wanted to distinguish myself from that. There are those who are coming at this stuff from an quote woke point of view or a racist point of view. They don't want a female, or they don't want a minority character to be portrayed. That's the issue, and they make a big deal out of that. And what upset me was the fact that, and a lot of times I ended up having to agree not to be on their side, but to agree with them because I don't want change. And so I'm like, well, don't make this character different. But they're focusing on the race difference, but I'm focusing on the fact that it is different. And I've always said that, to me, there's a bigger violation of a character, for example, like Wolverine, by having Hugh Jackman be a 6'2" guy depicting a 5'3", 5'4" height character. Wolverine is supposed to be short. That's integral to his character. And if you change that, that's a bigger change, in my opinion, than actually the race of the character. Now, I don't want any change. I'll be honest with you. I don't want any change. including a racial change. I wanted to be as close to the source material as possible, but the race is actually not the biggest factor, fascinatingly enough, when it comes to changing, character changing. What they've done to Thor is a bigger crime than if Thor had been a black guy. What they've done to the Hulk is a bigger crime, and so on and so forth. And so Wonder Man is the perfect example of that, because I happen to think that Wonder Man is one of those characters whose race isn't necessarily a big feature. And it's the same thing that happened with the Guardians of the Masters of the Universe, for example. I forget the character's name, and they made him Idris Elba. Some characters, so some characters, you recognize the character. You recognize their height, their look. I can draw Superman. I can recognize Superman. If somebody's walking down the street, if Clark Kent was walking down the street, I'd say, hey, wait a second. Are you Superman? There are Superman-looking people out there. Same thing is for Peter Parker. Same thing for Reed Richards. Same thing for Steve Rogers. It's not the race, it's the look. The look has been established, and I know what that character looks like. And obviously that includes the race. Obviously, if a person is blonde, that's different than if he's a brunette, and that's obviously different than if he's, Afro or bald. So obviously that includes race. So some characters have been defined to look a certain way that I recognize, but some other characters, that's not necessarily true. And it's because the characters haven't been developed. It's because the characters are not that iconic in our mind. And Wonder Man, in my opinion, is one of those characters. It's one of those characters where I can't really tell you what Simon Williams looks like. He's wearing the glasses. He wears the outfit. I can tell you the outfits, but in terms of what he looks like, it's not something that's indelible in my mind. And so he can be a different race because that's not an important aspect. And therefore, I thought Yaya's casting was actually very good. Very, very good. He looks kind of like Wonder Man. He does. He looks like Simon Williams. He fits the role. Now, having said that, Kevin, I understand your point when you say it works. I agree with you when you say it works. The show's cute. It's nice. It's well done. It doesn't insult my intelligence. There's a difference between Ben Kingsley's performance in this show compared to what he did in Shang-Chi, or even compared to what he did in Iron Man. He's bringing a certain gravitas to the character that's less silly and less ridiculous than what he's done before, less insulting to the intelligence. I love the little storyline, the development, blah, blah, blah. Having said that, Kevin, that's not Wonder Man. Like, in every other way, that's not Wonder Man. In no way. It's not that it's not Wonder Man. In no way. Not in history, not in character, not in anything. There's nothing at all connected to Wonder Man. And the show, I couldn't get through it, to be honest with you. I couldn't get through the last episode. The show has nothing to do with superheroes or superhero world or anything. Like, Kevin, to me, the show is a absolute travesty in the sense that if you're making a superhero show, Kevin, about superheroes from the Marvel universe, and this is what you deliver, I'd have to not only fire you, but prosecute you and put you in jail. It's like, what are you thinking? There is a genre called the superhero genre, and there's a reason why we're attracted to that genre. And this show, up to the episode that I got to, has absolutely nothing to do whatsoever with the show. And what's fascinating to me is that people are liking it and loving it. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is happening? What is happening? It's just, so the show in and of itself, while I said I agree with you that it's good, it's cute, it's well done, pretty good plot, character development, all of that. Kevin, it's not good enough on its own to, had it not been called Wonder Man, for me to have checked it out or for me to have followed the series. There are too many really good shows on television, really good, compelling shows on television for me to choose this one. It's not bad, but it's not exactly great either. And so it's a mediocre show. And what sometimes we do as fans, and I've done this in the past, and people have done it with Thor in particular, the first Thor, second Thor movie. We have such a low expectation sometimes that if it doesn't suck, we're like, it's pretty good. It's good. I like it. It's good. But no, no, it doesn't suck. I agree. It's pretty good. I agree. It's not a Marvel show in the least, and it should be taken and thrown in the garbage as far as I'm concerned. Go.
Well, I have to admit you are correct. Okay. As much as I like the show, you couldn't be more correct about the fact that it is miles away from the character. But as a quick piece of entertainment, yeah. I still enjoyed it. Is it Daredevil? No. Is it any of the movies? No. But does it still have a small or acceptable entertainment level? Yes.
Yeah. In other words, what you're saying is that is it Daredevil? No. But is it She-Hulk? No. It's not She-Hulk. It's not a bad show. But we have to raise our expectations higher than that. I think I have to demand greater. And and I think it's not so much the quality of the show that I'm questioning, or whether it's to me the crime is how anti-superhero and anti-Wonder Man it is. I just don't understand. I don't understand why you would be given the task of bringing Wonder Man to life and to do everything but Wonder Man. Like everything. When I say Wonder Man, I'm talking about a costume wearing superhero, superpowered being who was part of the Avengers, who was an actor by the way, he's an actor. That's Wonder Man's origins are completely different. Completely and absolutely different from the show. Like completely. It's not just that he's a black guy. It's completely different. You know, Wonder Man has a history of, his parents were rich. He inherited a huge company. He was a multi-billionaire, not billion, very, 100 millionaire type of thing. The company got ruined. He got into all kinds of issues financially and found himself on the down and out. He had to go to the brother who was on the criminal side of town and got involved with Hydra what's the name of the group? Masters of Evil or whatever it is. And then they gave him superpowers to fight the Avengers. Hey, it's completely different than what's happening here. Okay, completely, completely different. And so not only do you change that, absolutely. So it's not Simon Williams from a character point of view, but it's not a superhero. It's not a super pro. Like, are you kidding me? Exciting things are being done by fans on YouTube. Fight sequences, superheroes, things that titillate us and appeal to our appreciation for the superhero genre. And this thing was not it. So anyway, but I hear you. It didn't suck. It didn't suck. But guys, I hope you join us next time for this discussion. Let us know what you think, because I know a lot of people are fascinatingly jumping on the Wonder Man bandwagon. No, not for me, bro.